If you are watching this video, then it probably means that you are an accountant and you are looking to pick the best niche for your firm. You've already found that you need to pick a niche if you want to have the most success with your marketing campaign. So you are definitely at the right address, because in this video I am going to give you the best niche to have the most success with your firm and get the most clients. Before we dive in, let me quickly introduce myself. If you are new to the channel, my name is Daan, owner of Accounting Kings, where we work with accountants to get them more higher paying one-off clients, depends on what you want. So let's dive into the video here and I will show you exactly what the best niche is. Before we do this, we need to go over the niche success elements first. There are a couple things that you need to know. If you pick a niche and the foundations are wrong, then you can spend as much money on ads as possibly can. You can spend as much time on the niche, but simply because the foundations are incorrect, it's not going to work. So what we always advise our clients is the following thing. Number one, there need to be at least 30,000 people in there. And with people, we also mean just businesses, right? If there is less than 30K, you can still make it work. You can still make a lot of money. Like imagine if you just get 1% of the whole industry of a market that is 10,000 people, like, or companies big, you are still going to make a lot of money. However, if you really want to scale, at some point you have maybe shown the ads to everybody in your niche, or you've messaged almost everyone over the last couple of years, then yes, you can build some market recognition, everybody will know your name, but if they then do not need your service at some point, it's very hard to scale. So 30,000 is kind of like the indication that your niche needs to have. Then, are they able to afford your highest price services? If you have a great niche, 100,000 people in there, but they are simply not able to afford your services, then why should you pick the niche? You really need to make sure that when you are going to pick a niche, that they are even able to afford the services. So you can just simply take a look at their finances or do a guess of how much money they actually make and make an estimation for yourself and a guess, are they actually able to afford my services? And with being able to afford your services, it's just, do they have the money? It's not that they think it's expensive or that they are not used to paying that much for accounting or tax or bookkeeping services. You can just be better at sales and just make sure that they actually see the value. But they need to actually legit have the money. If they have nothing to give you, then there's nothing to get, right? Also, the market is growing, either in the amount of businesses or people or just in revenue. If the market is shrinking, let's say that you work with the newspaper industry, which is just basically dying, then if you are going to pick the niche and you're going to spend lots of time in it, then let's say that the market is shrinking every year. So for example, if you work with newspapers, the market is slowly dying and it's very hard to actually survive in the market because your clients will go out of business. So make sure that your market is growing in total amount of businesses or in revenue, the market itself. Also, it's specific enough. So if you are going to pick a niche, then make sure it's specific enough to a degree where if you want to work with medical professionals, do not target all medical professionals. Target chiropractors, dentists, physicians. Just make it specific enough so people will recognize certain things. So if you are going to create ads, for example, that you can actually show like a spine if you work with chiropractors, which they will recognize, or a chiropractor working in a chiropractor practice. Same thing for a dentist. They need to recognize it, but it needs to be specific enough. Just saying I work with medical professionals and showing a man in like a white lab coat or something, that's not enough. It needs to be specific enough, but not so specific that it's like 5,000 people. Then there also needs to be a valuable problem that you can solve. So if you have a niche that is big enough, if they are able to actually afford high price services, the market is growing, 30,000 people, it's specific, but there is not really a big problem, a valuable problem that you can solve. It's very hard to, of course, make lots of money because they don't need your service. If they don't need your service, then why should they actually pay for the service, right? So these things, those 5 things, they need to be checked before you are going to pick the niche. And the best niches, they have the right foundations. This is really important, okay? So if you are thinking of picking a niche, do research, just ask different AIs like ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Those typically have pretty decent information and searching models. So make sure it's about 30,000 people. Can be a little bit smaller, by the way, if the rest is all checked. But this is just ideal. If you have the wrong foundations, then you can really work as hard as you can when it's not going to work. Like Warren Buffett, for example, he said it's not really about how hard you can row, but it's about the boat you are in. And if you pick the niche with the wrong foundations, you are in the wrong boat. Now, then, if you have realized this over here, then we actually need to think of a couple niches. What are some niches that you can maybe go in? You can ask yourself the following questions. Do I already have experience working with this niche? This is helpful, as if you have experience already, you can talk their language, you know how they work, you know their processes. It's just easy for you to get them on board. It's easier to sell, you talk their language. So the marketing, the outreach is easier, and your service delivery is also easier. So think of, what do you already have experience with? Just write down a couple of niches. And over here, do I have experience working in this niche? So not working on as like an accountant, but in. Did you maybe own a landscaping company before? Did you maybe work as a realtor before, right? Those are the kind of things that you can use in your advantage, as you have literally been your niche. So you truly understand how it is to be working there. You truly understand all of the terms, which is a huge pro with the outreach, the messages, the selling. It's a big differentiator also. Then, do I already have a success story in the niche? If you are currently working for another accounting firm, then you can also have a success story because you contributed to a great outcome for a company. Or, of course, if you have your own clients, then that's even easier. But with a success story, we mean, did you already save someone a lot of money? Or did you once help a company grow from 1 to 5 million in a year? That's a success story. You can actually say, hey, I contributed to this. I know how this actually works, and I can do the same thing for you. That's also a big pro from a sales and marketing perspective. And also, again, for the service delivery too. Then also, what am I interested in? Of course, it works if you actually have some interest in something, right? If you are going to spend lots of time working with that niche, different types of people, different types of companies, but you don't really like that type of person, you don't really like that type of company, then of course it's your business. Let's make it fun. So write down, what is stuff that I am interested in? Or if you are interested in real estate, maybe it makes sense to go that route. But if you really appreciate doctors, you have a lot of respect for them, then go with them. And also, do I know people in the niche? It helps if you can actually ask some people in the industry about their pain points, their problems, how you can solve it. And it's just a little bit of a pro, because it's just some extra market research that you can do. It gives you a little bit of an edge, it gives you a little bit of an advantage. Then also, who do I enjoy talking to about business? So let's say that you go out for drinks and you meet a business owner and you are just really interested in the business itself, right? Also has to do a little bit with the interest in here. But if you truly enjoy talking to a specific person because you now find out, hey, I like to talk with that person about their business and I'm actually interested in the business and that industry, can give you some more ideas. So again, write everything down. Then, what businesses am I curious about? Maybe you are very interested in cryptocurrency. Maybe you are interested in the green industry. So if you are curious about something, then it also just makes your work more fun, right? If you are truly curious about something, you'd like to figure it out, it will give you more energy later on when you are actually working in the industry itself. Then this one over here, number 8. What niches do I already understand? If you already truly understand the chiropractor space, or you truly understand the automotive, the auto repair shop space, it gives you a big advantage on your competition. Not only because you are niche in general, but there are also other accountants that are niching down. If you already understand that niche, it's going to help you out a ton in the marketing, like the messaging, in the sales, because you speak the terms, you know how it works, and also in the service delivery. So then over here, what businesses do I respect or admire? So this is a little bit of the example I gave earlier about the doctor. If you have a lot of respect for a certain niche, then it's also easier to just work a little bit more on the day, or get back to a message to a prospect or a client on a Sunday because you truly admire them, and it will make the workload a little bit easier to do. And then the last question over here, what niches do I already think I can help? If you already have an idea of a niche that you think you can help, for whatever reason, maybe you don't even know it, but you just have a sense, write it down. Oftentimes, subconsciously, you already know more than you actually think you know. So write down what niches you think that you can actually help. Can be because you have some basic interest for it. Can be because you grew up on a farm, for example, and you already think you can help them. So right now, if correct, you've asked yourself those questions, you've written them down, and you have a very big list of niches that you can probably go after. Now, check. Do they have 30,000 people-ish in it? If it's smaller, a little bit smaller is fine. Are they able to actually afford it? Is the market growing? Or at least stagnant, but ideally growing, either in terms of total businesses or in terms of money in the industry? Is it specific enough? Don't be the person that is saying, oh, I work with the hospitality industry. Because running a hotel is very different as running a restaurant. Okay? Then also, is there a valuable problem I can solve? So for example, with cryptocurrency, there's a lot of compliance stuff, right? And a lot of tax stuff that people really want to make sure they get right. Construction, they have issues with cash flow. There are a lot of big problems that you solve. And the bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward for it. So now start crossing the niches through, and at some point you have a list of a couple of niches that you think will be ideal. Okay, so by now you've asked yourself the questions, you have the list of niches, you've done the checks over here, and you have a few niches that you think will be working. And now I'm actually going to give you the best niche, because that's why you clicked, right? What is the best niche for accountants? Well, it's easy. The one you stick to. The thing is, if you have a couple of niches, and if you did the check over here, so you have the right foundations, then all you really need to do is just making sure you stick to it. As it's just simply the case that if you enter a niche, you will not be the best. There's someone in there already for a few years that is better than you. And you will never be able to beat your competition if you go with dentists 1 year, and then the other year you go with auto repair shops, and then the year after you go with restaurants. You need to stick to it. So by now you have the right foundations. You know, okay, all of these niches are fine. They are able to afford me. They can pay me lots of money because I can solve their problem. It's a big enough niche. Like, you already know the foundations are right. Now you just need to pick the one that you can actually stick to. Because if you are going to be that person that is going to do the niche hopping thing, you will never be able to beat someone. Think of like the biggest companies out there, like Amazon, for example. Do you think if Jeff Bezos was the type of guy that was doing the e-com, and then he started a marketing agency, and then he started a plumbing business, Amazon will not be as big as it is right now. So he stuck with it. He actually focused on it for a long, long time, and he became the best. If you become the best, you of course can charge more. There are even more problems you can solve. The organic growth will also increase. Marketing will be better because you understand the niche better. Sales will become easier because you have more authority and you truly know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. So the best niche for your firm will be the one that you stick to with the right foundations. So I hope by watching this video you have your list right now, you crossed a couple through. Now start thinking, what is the one that I can actually stick to? You know all of the ones on your list have the right foundations. What is the one that I can work with for the next 5 to 10 years? So this is a process we do with all of the clients. I know for sure it works, so just be disciplined, really stick to your niche. If you are an accountant, by the way, you want some help with getting more higher value clients, click the link in the description. You can schedule a call with our team there. You don't have to, by the way. I make these videos for free. It's just there if you want to check it out. Make sure you stick to the niche. I'll see you in the next video.